and welcome back to On the Sofa with me, Hayley. Now, we have got a really exciting guest for you. Now, unfortunately, he couldn't come into the studio due to the circumstances. However, we did manage to get him on Skype just for you. Now, I'll give you a little clue. He was in the film Coyote Ugly. He also played John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever in the West End, and also Fiyero in Wicked. Oh yes, it's Adam Garcia. Adam, thank you so much. It's so good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, now I think most of us remember you from Coyote Ugly. For me, it's just one of those go-to films when I'm having a bad day, like today under these circumstances. I just love the film. And what I want to know is that scene when you're on the bar, did you just kind of like improvise that or was it choreographed?
It was choreographed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, no, we choreographed it. Yeah, because that's the magic of movies is they
Right.
have to know all the lighting guys, the camera guys, the
Yeah.
director. They all need to know where you're going to be going so you can capture it. So the choreographer and I put it together in about a day. It didn't take
Wow. Yeah.
and then and it wasn't originally in the script. There was sort of something there to do with her like selling me off, but there was never sort of a routine per se.
Yeah.
But obviously Jerry Bruckheimer and the director David McNally knew that I was a dancer, so
Yeah, absolutely.
they were like, "Go on then,
God.
we're going to exploit your talents." So yeah, it really came in handy, and
Yeah.
as I said, it wasn't in the original script that he could,
Wow.
would be willing to move. But he was, it's not like a super dancer's dance. It's like
Yeah.
some guy who's willing to get up there and move like.
But I have seen you in Tap Dogs, and I used to go tap dancing, Adam. Grade 4, I think I got up to, but nothing like nothing like
pullbacks.
you doing Tap Dogs. I mean, I do go around Tesco's, still tap dancing today. But you guys
It's
are
their
so in
fault for
sync.
playing music. Do they
Pardon?
play music in Tesco's? No, they don't play music in Tesco's.
I know, but I've still got the habit of doing like my time steps and my wings.
That's a good habit. Hey, look, you learned something.
But yeah, you guys in Tap Dogs, I just feel like if one of you went out of sync, it would go completely off. Was it really hard to stick together?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was part of the whole sort of choreography. Dean Perry, who choreographed it,
Yeah.
a lot of it wasn't in 4/4, as in the time signature 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
A lot of it was like 7/8, 5/8, 5/12.
Oh, it's
You
giving me a
know,
headache already. Yeah, I can imagine.
21 counts every 21. So there was lots of different time signatures, and they would change. But obviously in sync, there was also a lot of a cappella stuff. So and that was up to I played the foreman, and the foreman's job is to drive the tempo and keep the metronome going. So it was my sort of job to pull everyone in line and.
Right, it's got to be a hard sport, hasn't it? It's pretty hard work. People think, oh, dancing, but it's like playing rugby or something, isn't it?
It was an 85-minute sprint.
Wow, God.
Pretty much the foreman actually got more breaks than anyone else, but yeah, I think we were blowing out sort of 3,500 calories per show.
Wow.
So we could eat
Amazing.
whatever we wanted.
Yeah, that sounds like the dream. Although I'm doing that right now under the circumstances.
Yeah,
The diet's gone out the window. But let's talk about Saturday Night Fever, because for me, I did see that, and I just thought you completely pulled it off. But I heard that you had to audition quite a few times for the role. Is that right?
I think it was about, I want to say between 8 and 10.
What?
Yeah. So look, any sort of musical, you audition a lot anyway, because you go through the first round, then you got the singing round, then you got the dancing round, then you got the callbacks, and you got the producer and the director's rounds, and it can take a lot. But I think and they were trying to find, the right person. Arlene Phillips thought I was the right person.
Yeah, because didn't she choreograph you in Greece?
So she choreographed me in Greece, and she was the director of this. And I think some of the other producers were like, he's too young, he's an unknown. I'd done 2 other shows.
Because this was before Coyote, wasn't it?
And this is before Coyote
Yeah.
Ugly. So I'd arrived and I'd done a show called Hot Shoe Shuffle with Dean Perry.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Then I did Grease as Duty, not the lead role. And they were like, it's a lead role, and it's, you know, Tony Manero, it's taking after Travolta. We need a name, you know, like musical people want to do because they need bums on seats. But Arlene Phillips and Robert Stigwood were really adamant that I do it, and they won the other producers over, even though like I know some of them were like, well, his voice isn't great and all that sort of stuff, but I worked really hard on that, and I knew that I could do it for some reason.
Yeah, you're like,
I knew I could do that. I really felt that role. Like when I auditioned for it, I was like, I know this person. This is
it felt right.
Yeah, so it worked.
Well, obviously, you know, you're a singer, actor, and primarily a dancer, but you were also a judge on Got to Dance.
Yes.
How was that for you?
I loved it. I thought it was one of the best sort of career opportunities I'd had, and I wasn't expecting it to do what it did, and it sort of really got me involved. I hadn't done a musical. I hadn't danced since 2006.
Oh, right.
In Wicked.
Oh, yes. I think I've got Dancing Through Life on my podcast at the moment.
Yeah, and even that, I wasn't dancing that much in it. And I think I also went and did Chip in On the Town in like a 3-month gig in Paris, which also isn't a huge dance role. It's a singing role and an acting role. So I hadn't done any sort of dancing, and I got called in for the audition, and I just watched Diversity win, and so I was aware of who Ashley Banjo was, and I obviously knew who Kimberly White was, and knew who Davina McCall was, and they sort of pulled us all together, and they told us about the show, and we were like, I mean, sounds like a great show for dancers, and it sort of evolved into a show that really represented the dance community in Britain or in the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
And that was really special. We thought it was, it could have just been another talent show, but it really was, the best dancers won each time got through. And it just showed me how big and how strong dancing is in the UK and Ireland, and also that the average viewer of the show knew exactly what they were watching and how good it was.
Yeah.
Because we didn't pick the winners, and every year they were like, they're the best, and we were like,
they are. I mean, a lot of the people that go on the program are more sort of street. Do you think there should be more sort of like tap dancers? We should be like promoting that more.
Well, I mean, it's things come and go, and street's been around for 40 years since the 80s. So it's it's a pretty established thing, and it's got so many different branches to its sort of tree, and people love it, and a lot of boys want to do it because it's so physical and athletic, and it's got a gymnastics in it. It's also what's predominantly with popular music and hip hop and R&B. It's what people look at, whereas tap dancing is still very popular because I teach all around the country, and lots of people do it. But it isn't so much like it had its heyday really when the 50s musicals, 40s, 50s, 60s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, let's say that, where popular music was big band, bandstand, and it makes sense to tap dance to those sort of things. Jazz, you can. I mean, I love dancing to hip hop and R&B and all that sort of stuff. So maybe it'll turn around. But
absolutely. Because when you started out, I think you started like about 7 or 8, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Was that quite a hard time for you? Because I can remember in my dance classes, we only had kind of like one guy, whereas now it's just so many more. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more acceptable for guys to do it.
Yeah.
I think, although I know kids who still get teased, but boys who still get teased. But I think because we see so much on music videos and online, and males dancing all the time, it's sort of not so uncommon anymore. It's a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, in Australia, I never got teased. Like maybe like once or twice.
Which is brilliant. I love that.
So I don't
We
know.
like that, yes.
Yeah.
We think everyone should dance. Well, I've got a question from one of our viewers, Adam. You okay? She wants to know if you could recreate any great dance moment, what would it be? This is from Andrea, and she's hoping you'll say Gene Kelly.
Yeah, I'd like to. I've done Gene Kelly a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'd still like to do more because it's very difficult. He's really good. I think I'd really actually like to. I'd love to do Gene, but I mean, if I could do the Nicholas Brothers routines, like Stormy Weather and Down Argentine Way, if I had the flexibility and the sheer unbelievable talent, I think I'd like to do that, but I don't think I can do the half splits.
We'll hold you to that then.
Jumping over someone. And Fred. I mean, some of Fred's tap routines are just staggeringly good.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go and do a little bit of time steps in my dining room under the circumstances. But thank you so much for joining us, Adam. We really appreciate it, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Oh, we've now come to the end of On the Sofa with Hayley. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really do appreciate all your support. In fact, I would love to hear from you. Details are on the screen below. Let's see what guests we can get for next time, and do keep you posted on what you think of the show. Now, I want to say a big thank you to my guests, Terry Dwyer, Molly Hocking, Kim Mazel, and of course, Adam Garcia. I'm Hayley Palmer, and I will definitely see you next time. Stay safe.